Hey there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies here in the Edmonton River Valley in spring 2022. And today's video is about discovery sessions. This is entirely all credit to Ari Galper of unlockthegame.com, who is an early mentor of mine. And one of the main reasons that Marketing for Hippies exists is his approach and philosophy. Here's the challenge with most kind of discovery sessions initial calls with clients. Is, of course, the coach is attempting to solve the entire problem excuse me, in one session. They're trying to solve the whole thing. And or even worse, they're trying to sell them the whole time. They're trying to, the first part is to get to know you, they learn a little bit about the problem, and then they stick in the knife, twist it around, punch the bruise until the person begs for mercy and buys. And neither of those are that ethical, neither of them work that well. And I say the first one isn't ethical because you can give people the impression that that's all they need is like 1 hour with you and the problem solved. And of course, it's probably much deeper, and it can mislead people. It can lead people astray from understanding the depth of work they might need. So here's his approach. And he's got a new book coming out at some point. I'll be sure to let you know when it does. Instead of focusing on your solutions, you focus on their problem. Instead of focusing on getting them to understand what you have to offer, you focus entirely, exclusively on understanding their situation. Instead of focusing on your prescription, you focus on diagnosis. So what are you what are you doing during the call? You're just asking good questions. You're being curious. And you're asking the kind of questions that only a professional knows how to ask. And why are you doing this? Well, one, you want to see if it's a fit. You want to see if you can help them. It's also helpful for them. I mean, it's just, people asking you good questions. It can lead you to realizations on your own. But you're primarily asking so that you build trust. Because if it's a fit, at a certain point, what will happen, if you're doing this well, again, if it's a fit, they will say something like, "Can you help me with this?" And they will ask you for help. You won't even have to offer it. They just will ask. Now, of course, there's a skill set to this. This is the overarching philosophy. When Ari's book comes out, I'm sure there'll be more of the sort of practicalities on that and how does one go about this. But just that philosophy, that will get you a long way. It may not be the route on the map, but it's a good compass. It's the right direction to go. You just become so curious. Tell me everything. I want to know everything. How is it for you? What do you think is in your way? What's that about? Have you tried these things? You get so curious. You want to understand their situation. You're not trying to sit across from them and convince them. You're trying to sit next to them in that moment and see the world the way they see it. You're trying to see through their eyes. You're trying to put yourself in their shoes until you really get it. And when we feel gotten by people, and especially somebody who's an expert in a certain field, then we open up. If they're not pushing, if they're not going for the close where we automatically feel like we have to defend and push back, if we feel like they're really just curious and they're skillful enough to ask us these questions and to see these things we're not seeing, you might say, well, do you think there might be a connection between this and this? I'd never thought about that. Yeah. At a certain point, they start asking you questions. They say, well, and what do you think about this? And what do you, and you just have to, there's probably a limit of time on that conversation. But once they ask for help, you're in a whole different world. That's the moment the trust happens, as long as you don't pounce on it. And then, there's a lot of approaches, but here's one I'll offer up. Is they say, yeah, do you help? And you can say, I do. That is something I do. I think I might be able to help you on this. But look, let's set a separate time to talk about this, working together. That's a bigger conversation. We should really just set some time to explore and just see if it's a fit at a deeper level. And, I can send you some things to read in the meantime. But how does that sound? Probably going to say yes at that point if they asked for help. And then you set a time And, you know, you might send a reminder before people get forgetful. And the chances are very good they show up. And then you just talk with them. And you do a genuine discovery session. It's not a pitch, but it's where you say, okay, look, so as I recall from our conversation, here's your situation. Am I remembering right? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so here's the packages I have. Here's the offers that are available. There's these 3 things. Let me just break them down for you, and then you can tell me what you think. And you can lay them out, and you can say, look, I think you don't need the big one. Maybe you need the middle one, or you just tell them honestly what you think might be best for them, and then you just say, so. Anyways, that's from me. That's my, that's what I do. Those are the possibilities of working together. What do you think? Where should we go from here? If anywhere. And you just take the pressure out of it, and you put the ball in their court, and they'll decide what they decide. Again, there's more art to this, and if they have what we would call objections, there's ways to engage with that, which is more we can get into here. But you'll have a lot less pushback, a lot less objections, because it won't be pressure. It'll be consent all the way. So that's just a little thought. There's so much more to say, and there you go. Hopefully this is of some use to you. If you like these videos, please share them wherever you can. Old friends. That X, the things have been tense between. Send them a video. Might be helpful for their business. They'll forgive you, get back together with you, say what a fool they've been. So please do share them. Of course, there's a red subscribe button, the bell icon, if you want to hear when more videos are coming out. I try to do them about once a day. So there you go. Thanks, everybody. See ya.